So with the Olympics concluding and the USA capturing their 5th straight gold medal, and Steph Curry showing the world why he is the greatest shooter that ever touched the basketball. And then watching these Olympics, I got the same feeling that I got when I was watching the 2017 to 2018 Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green when he was still good. One of, if not the best NBA team to ever be assembled, and it was really unfair for the rest of the league. Having Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, who was a top 5 defender at the time, all on the same team while having great rotational pieces and a great coach. It was really just unfair for the rest of the league, and anyone that was watching NBA basketball at that time really didn't enjoy it because you know who was gonna win. Y'all knew what was gonna happen. It wasn't even no doubt, no bets, no ifs, ands, or buts who was gonna win unless the injury stopped them like they did in 2019 against the Raptors. When everyone decides to play for Team USA, when the best players decide to play, it's unfair for the rest of the world, not just the league, the rest of the world. And it's for those exact reasons why I humbly believe that NBA champions are in fact world champions, because when we play by the world rules, when the USA plays by the rest of the world rules, we dominate every single Olympics. We know who's winning gold. The last time we didn't win gold was back in 2004. And the time before that was back in 1988 when we didn't even have professionals playing back then. However, I'm not just gonna say something without giving at least a detailed explanation for why I believe that. So sit back, relax, and get ready for my explanation of why I feel like NBA champions are real world champions. Now, there are some key differences between NBA rules and the Olympic rules, so I just want to go over those for anyone that doesn't know so we all have a base understanding of what I'm talking about. One of the most noticeable differences is the distance between the two leagues' 3-point line. While in the NBA it's closer to 23.9 feet, in the FIBA and Olympics it's closer to 22.2 feet. So there's approximately a 1.5 foot difference everywhere throughout the radius of 3-point line. This is important for two major reasons. The first one being that it's actually easier to shoot threes in the Olympics compared to the US, which is why players such as Carmelo Anthony and Kevin Durant seem to thrive so well in the Olympics, because instead of shooting threes, they're actually just shooting long twos, which they are highly proficient at. However, while yes, it does make shooting threes easier, it also makes it easier for the defense because they can stunt at the ball when someone's trying to drive, and if they try to kick out, it's an easier recovery than it would be in the NBA, because those little seconds of time can be the difference between a wide open shot and a contested shot, because that's how skilled the players are nowadays. And speaking of defense, that brings me into my next point, is that in FIBA, there is no defensive 3-second violation. So the shot blocker can just camp out in the paint like he's a goalie or something and just swat shots away without any repercussions at all, while the offensive player still cannot be in the paint for more than 3 seconds. I want you to think of any shot blocker: Hakeem, Dikembe, Shaq, David Robinson, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo. Any of these guys, they were just camped out in the middle of the lane, in the middle of the paint with no repercussions at all, and could just wait for someone to drive in so they can send it backwards. So not only does the defense have an advantage in the shorter 3-point line, so they can stunt at the ball and recover more easily, even if they get beat, they got top flight security of the world patrolling the paint, ready to send any shot into the front stands. Coupled with the fact that they only play 10-minute quarters as opposed to the NBA 12-minute quarters, and there's a lot less game time for them to actually do something, because if you take out those 2 minutes, that's 8 minutes of extra game time. That's almost a whole nother quarter of gameplay you can have that they're just taking out. And in the gold medal game versus France, I noticed that in the time France made 3 to 4 substitutions, the United States has only made 1. So all guys in their mid to late 30s was still playing more minutes than the other guys on the other team who was in their mid to late 20s. That shows you that the American players are just slightly more in shape than the international players, because they need less substitutions and can still be just as effective. Alright family, now that you guys are all caught up to speed with the different rules and how it can affect the gameplay in a lot of different areas, now let's get into the actual meat and potatoes on why I think NBA champions are world champions. The NBA is widely regarded as not only having the best talent in the world when it comes to basketball, but also the top athletes when it comes to the sport as well. It's an exclusive league that only the top 450 basketball players in the entire world could even hope to play for. And even though it's the top 450 players, only about 7 to 9 players per team actually have contributing minutes. So if we just say that every team only plays an average of 8 players, that really leaves the top 240 basketball players in the entire world to play. Now, I don't know all the rules on what it takes for someone who's not an original citizen of a particular country to represent that country in the Olympics. In the NBA, people get waived, they get traded, they get drafted, and all these things that would make it easier just to build a team to complement your superstars and or other role players. Just think about Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, one of, if not the best two-man game in recent NBA history that we have ever seen. I know y'all seen that finals run the Nuggets went on last year when they was unstoppable, and it was highly because of that dynamic duo that they have at the point guard and the center position. However, if those teams were constructed the same way that the Olympics were constructed, then we would never see that brand of basketball. We would never see those two players with those two specific skill sets and their chemistry be together and create one of the best offensive duos we ever seen. And that's exactly what I'm getting at. If you are in the NBA, then you are the world's best players. Think about any of the other world's undoubtedly best basketball players to ever grace a basketball court. Hakeem Olajuwon selected over Michael Jordan, and no one says it was a bad pick. Also a two-time champion, MVP, and Defensive Player of the Year award winner. Dirk Nowitzki, one of my favorite players of all time personally. I love his fadeaway off the left side with the one leg up, and he also beat the 2011 Heat to sustain his legacy. I can't forget the duo of Tony Parker from France and Manu Ginobili from Argentina playing on the San Antonio Spurs that ran the league for a couple years. Andre Karolinka from Russia that could do everything on defense, block, steals, contest. He can even get you 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists too. And that's not even counting guys like LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Steph Curry, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, all these GOATs. All these guys that if anyone, no matter where in the world they said that if any of these people were not at least top 5 in their respective positions, they would know absolutely nothing of what they're talking about. Everyone in the basketball community would point and laugh at them saying, you don't know anything about basketball, you don't know how greatness is achieved, you know nothing. However, when someone wants to say that the champion of the league, that the world's best player are world champions, they seem to get offended, and I just don't understand why. The NBA has the world's best talent, the world's best coaches, the world's best players to ever grace a basketball court. This is something that everyone who watches basketball knows and understands. However, when the league wants to say that their champions are the champions of the world, even though they beat the rest of the world's greatest talent, there's no one else better than them, and they beat them teams in a 7-game series. So it wasn't like it was just one fluke game where someone got hot, hit a bunch of threes, or played good defense, or someone on the other team had an off night. That's not fair to the game of basketball. That's not fair to the players in the league. That's not fair to the league itself. All in all, I just think it's a bad look. But let me know what you think down in the comment section below. This was more of just a rant video more than anything. Regularly scheduled programs coming after my next video is going to be about the Denver Nuggets, so stay tuned for that. Couldn't use any Olympic footage, probably a lot of pictures in this video. I'm not trying to get sued. And with all that out the way, if you made it this far into the video, shout out to you. You are a real one. Even though you've seen the thumbnail and the title, you still wanted to watch all the way through and get a good understanding of what I got to say. Shout out to you. Make sure to like, comment, and or subscribe if you haven't already. It's been your favorite cousin CJ, aka the basketball historian. More history videos coming soon. Just had to get this one off my chest. I'll see y'all boys in the next one. Y'all stay safe out there, alright? Peace, peace.
I draw it up and execute, I need a coaching job. I'm the type to help my man score, I'm finna throw the lob. These niggas ain't touching paper, they just broken lost. In the 300, it bends the earth like I train with Todd. Historic run, not for real, I'm on a global tear.